as I've told you, I've already posted the lesson in your lesson and material in your classwork. Okay. So our topic is Bernoulli differential equation. And if you see there are videos here, 4-part videos, those are the video discussion of actual topic nato karon. But since others preferred to have uh, actual talking, so yeah, that's the reason why we have still discussion like this. So if you want to watch it again and again, so you, all lessons are posted man sa classroom nato. And if you want no no mga dilly-dallies or pasakalye, so you could watch the 4-part because it's direct. So if you want some hints and discussions like this, then you watch the class discussion. Okay. So what is Bernoulli differential equation? Anyone?
Extension sa linear, sir.
Okay, it is an extension for linear as what our lesson states. This is an extension for linear differential equations, or this is a lesson that solves a problem that cannot be solved by linear differential equation. So meaning if you're given differential equation like this, okay, same as linear, it also have Bernoulli in x and Bernoulli in y. So same as other first order first degree differential equation, it still has a form of mxy dx plus nxy dy equals 0. So, but Bernoulli differential equation, same as linear, have standard forms. Okay? So it could be Bernoulli in y or Bernoulli in x. So in Bernoulli in y, so if you could look, dy over dx plus y p of x, sir, it's like a linear, di ba? If you look closely, this is just a linear. The difference is that in the right side, so in the equal side, where your q of x has another variable. So if you encounter problems that it looks like linear, but the equal sign on the right side contains two variables, then you cannot use linear differential equation. Then use Bernoulli differential equation. Okay? Are we clear that with the difference?
Yes, sir.
Good.
Yes, sir.
So that's the difference of linear and Bernoulli differential equation. So another someone from other section yesterday asked me, sir, is there a possibility that one problem could be solved with two different methods? The answer is yes. So if the problem it could be solved with linear or exact, it could be. It could be solved by exact and oh no, variable separable in linear. Yes, it could be. So if you could find some ways that to make it variable separable. So meaning sir, if mag mag-exam na mi sir, so diagnostic or midterm exam, you will not tell, as I've told them manggod kay, I will not put what method to use. Use your third eye to identify what method to use for a given differential equation. So, he asked me, so sir, I could use variable separable and the other could use linear. Yeah, you could use different as long as obviously you will end up with the same answer. Okay? So, since they are methods, you will end up with the same answer. Okay? So, maybe for the simplification part, siguro, ana mo maglahi. Kasi, again, pwede mo maglahi, ana. Kaya, pwede nimo lahi ang pag-take nimo. So, mo nang tanawon jud po na nako if applicable ba siya. But, these are the things that could not go with Bernoulli and linear differential equation. If that is linear differential equation, it will never be Bernoulli. Okay? Especially if that equation is a Bernoulli differential equation and it will never be linear differential equation. You get it?
Yes, sir.
But
Yes, sir.
in the Bernoulli differential equation, after you transform the Bernoulli differential equation, on the last part, it is just like a linear differential equation. Okay? But it could not be nga, pag-start pa lang sa Bernoulli differential equation, ang gagamit ni mo linear, that is wrong. But Bernoulli, you need to use the method of Bernoulli after doing the linear. Like homogeneous differential equation, when you do homogeneous differential equation, at the end of that, you will use variable separable. Diba? So, the same as linear differential equation. So, let's start with the derivation of these forms. Okay? So, from here, we know that this is the standard form. Since your q of x has another variable, then we could identify that this is never be a linear differential equation. So since it is in this form, we could use Bernoulli differential equation. That's the reason why I'm giving you all the methods that could or you could use para in any problem that you would encounter, you could still solve it. Okay? So the first thing you need to do is to eliminate. Okay? So again, ang target nimo ani is maparehas nimo siya sa imuhang linear differential equation na mawa ning another variable in the q part, q function. And this one will just be differential over another differential. Okay, it may not be y na, but still, it should be in this form. Okay, so from here, so the first thing we need to do is to eliminate this one by dividing, since this one is multiplied. So divide. So after dividing, so obviously divide y divided by y raised to the power of n, function of p of x equals q of x. Sir, is it okay? No, it's not yet okay since you still have y raised to the power of n here. So y raised to the power of n here could be rearranged to be a reciprocal. So it transfer mo na in this side of dy over dx, that is y over y, 1 over y raised to the power of n. So, or it could just be y raised to the power of negative n since it is reciprocal. So from here, just simplify this one, y over y raised to the power of n, or it is just y raised to the power of 1 minus n. Okay? So p of x, q of x. You need to remember this one. After this, the next method is the one that is beside your p of x, the y raised to the power of n, should be equated to your m or any variable that you want. So most book use u or m. Okay, so I use m, so that it will not be confused with u substitution. So on other na na-read na kong book, use v, but most u and m ang gigamit. So we could use m equals this one. So from here, you just simply derive your m. So derivative of m is dm over dx, or y dx. If you could see the given, that is with respect to dx. Okay. So your m is just y raised to the power of 1 minus n. So derive that one, divide dx. So derive that one. So your power multiplied with y minus 1. So 1 minus 1, that is 0. So therefore, you just have negative n. So that is derivative of this is obviously this one dy over the dx. Okay. So after that, if you could look here, if you could look here, so if you could look in this part, no, see y raised to the power of negative n is just the first part, the first term of this equation, di ba? So we'll just substitute this one with what we will get here in the differential. So just transpose the y, 1 minus n to the dm over dx. So it becomes y raised to the prime negative n dy over dx is equal to dm over dx divided by the 1 minus n. So since we get this part is equal to dm over dx over 1 minus n, just substitute. Okay? So, mo na yung target na to. After that, you just copy what's remain. So, what remains? So, from here, just copy. So, from what I've told earlier, that our target is just be like this. Okay? So, the numerator may not be y anymore. But if you could look here, your m is just still y. Content of m will just still be y. So, from here, so in order for me to eliminate this one, this is just a constant. It's just like 1 minus 2. N is a number man. So it's just like a 2. So from there, I want to eliminate it so that it will just be dm over dx. Okay? So from here, I just obviously multiply it with 1 raised to the power 1 minus n. So multiply this one gives you dm over dx. Here, you multiply it. So obviously, multiply then q of x multiply. From here, ma-identify na ni mo si, di ba, p of x manunta. But since we have a constant, so you need to involve it with the p of x. That's why we called it ptx, okay? The function of ptx, okay? So that is 1 minus n p of x. Then what's on the other side is called the qtx. And the same formula as the linear, as I've told you, as long as you get the function of p, function of q, you get the integrating factor, the same as the linear differential equation. So after that, the same general solution, di ba? Uh, since this is supposedly y, no? So dapat y ni siya. But since derive man nato si y, although y naman gyapon ng content, we use m. So, although ibalik naman nato na m times the integrating factor, the same lang, equals qtx integrating factor dx plus c. So let's have an example. Okay. So let's have an example. Let's copy first the given. Again, guys, it doesn't matter if that is cosine, logarithmic, exponential, kanang mga trigonometric, kanang mga sine, cosine. It doesn't matter ha. The process is will still be the same. Ang maglahi ra na ang pag-derive o pag-integrate. Ayaw mo paratol kung ang gihatag na ko sine, cosine, or mga exponential, di ba? Mamo na yung mga hilig si sir mo hatag og nga na. The process is still the same. Okay? So, example, one, that is dy over dx plus y 2 over x equals 3y cubed x squared. Okay, let's try to solve this one. Okay, guys, please look at the solution nato and please check if natay nasipyat ha sa para di ta malangan. And then palihog ko double check and ask question. Okay, so you always look at the steps. Okay, the step is like this. So from here, we have, okay, from here we have, okay, from here we have dy of dx. So therefore, we need to divide this one with, we need to
Sir,
divide,
excuse me, sir.
yes, y,
Antag, divided by y cube, sir.
unsa, unsa, Rammer,
Nakay ko nga na divided by y cube. Y,
lagi, divide lagi
sir.
na to. Mag-divide pa lagi ta.
dili given ang divide, sir.
Mao na yung given, no? This is the
Yes, sir.
given.
Sakto man, sir.
Okay, mao na yung given. Remember the rule. Okay? The rule is this one. So therefore, you need to eliminate it. That's why we divide. But the given is not divide. That's part of the process. Okay? Part na siya sa process. Ramir.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Sige. So from there, so from here, since this is already dy, so if you look at this only, we could say that this is linear. But when we look at your q function, dapat x lang ni siya. But it contains man og y cube. That's why we need to eliminate that one. So, y cube. Don't include the constant ha, kay maglisod-lisod ra mo. Okay? Although pwede na siya, but promise, it will be hard. Okay? So, it will be confusing. Okay. So, from there, what we have here, divide. So, therefore, you have dy over dx over y cube. Diba? Plus y divided by y cube. Then, copy this one. Equals. So, y cube over y cube just be 1. So, x squared. So, from here, we have to simplify this further. So, this one could be, diba? This could be over 1. Pag transpose mo, that is 1 over y cube dy over dx. Plus, this, you could do this directly if you know, like what I've written in the classroom sa PDF. So, here, I'm just presenting you how did I get it. Base na yung mangutana. So, from there, so y, so that is y. Since this is reciprocal, you could raise that one as y raised to the power of negative 3. So, or y minus 3. Okay, y raised to the power of 1 times y raised to the power of negative 3, the power should be added. So, 1 plus negative 3, maura na siya. So, times 2 over x equals 3x squared. Wait a minute. Okay, sorry. Ga-charge ko. Nakamalupad. Ga-charge pa ko kay Padong nakamalupad. Okay. So, from here, so we could simplify this one. Therefore, you will have, since that is reciprocal, you could raise that one, negative 3. So, that's why it's just dy over dx. Or, if you know this one, you could do this directly. So, plus y raised to the power of negative 2. 2 over x equals 3x squared. So, from there, you need to remember this, okay? So, very important ni siya. Timan-anin ni mo kay later on, we will be substituting a value on our first term, okay? So, from there, remember to get this part, okay? So, that is our m, okay? Y negative 2, okay? So, after that, you need to derive it. So, dm. So, remember that this is dx. So, therefore, this is also dx. So, derivative daw sa atong m, which is y raised to the power of negative 2 over dx. Meaning, derivative of this, that is negative 2y raised to the power of negative 3, no? Since that is minus 1. So derivative of this is like this one. Over, that is derivative that which is dy over dx. So, ano na lang natin butang parihara na siya. So, our dm over dx is equal to negative 2y cubed dy over dx. So, from here, if you could look in this part, no? If you look this part from y up to here, this is just this part, the first term. So therefore, we could just transfer the negative 2 to the other side. If you could look the process I've given you, no? Kini, kining parta. So transfer to the other side. So that's the process. Okay. From there, we could rearrange this one to, so y, this one becomes dm over dx over negative 2 equals y cubed dy over dx. Okay? So therefore, we could substitute this one to the first term. Okay? Okay. So therefore, ang ato ang y cube dy over dx is just equal to dm dx over negative 2. So that is dm over dx over negative 2 equals kini. Ah, no, that is not equals. That is plus. Just copy. Okay. It's just like that. So from there, 'di ba, ang target nato dapat dy over dx. So since we know that our y is just m is just y. So this part is very important because later in our general solution, gikinhangla ng parta. So need to remember that one. So after that, next is this one, need to divide it with, so that we eliminate the negative 2. So therefore, that is just dm over dx. Okay? Plus y negative 2. Negative 2 times 2, that is negative 4 over x equals negative 6. 3 times 2, that is negative 6 x squared. Di ba? So, dapat mag-multiply ka sa multiply po ta ng side. Okay? Di pwede usara ka side. So, from there, we now have our standard form. Okay. In our standard form, we now identify our, this one is our p function of p dx, which is negative 4 over x, and our q tx, we call that one tx na, since this is already transform x, that's why that is tx, transform x na siya. So that is now negative 6x squared. Okay, so from here, since we have this one already, we could solve for integration by parts. But again, in our general solution, we need this one. Okay, importante ni siya. Okay, m and q, then integrating factor. So integrating factor is just same, e raised to the power of integral, but now that is the transform x dx. Okay, so our e is our integrating factor is equal to e raised to the power ptx, which is in this case that is negative 4x dx. or e raised to the power negative 4 integral of dx over x, or just equal to e raised to the power of negative 4 ln of x, or e raised to the power of ln of x raised to the power of negative 4. This becomes 1. Therefore, your integrating factor is just equal to, oh, sorry, is just x raised to the power of 4. So remember, this one, this one is what we need to solve for general solution. So if you could look at it, this part is just your linear, di ba? This is just your linear. Since ang given nato dili pa siya ma-form na linear, so nagbuhat pa ta og step ani. Okay? This is what we call the Bernoulli. Bernoulli. Okay? So, and obviously until the rest. Okay. So from there, we can now get our general solution. So remember the steps ha. So sa integrating factor kung na-sign, integral ra gud na sign pod. Exponential, integral na exponential. Kung naay derivative, then derive it. So it doesn't matter if what type of ano na siya, given na siya. Okay, the process will always be the same. Just make sure na kaiba mo integrate o derive. Okay. General solution. So, di ba that should be Bernoulli in y. So, in linear differential equation, it should be y. But since we know that we use m, no? M, but still obviously the equivalent of m is just y. But what we will be, our general form will be m times integrating factor equals, this is the formula, q transform of x times integrating factor dx plus c. So that's the reason why I highlighted the m, qtx, and integrating factor, because we'll just substitute it. So remember, our m is y raised to the power of negative 2. Y raised to the power of negative 2. So therefore, your m is y raised to the power of negative 2. Integrating factor is x raised to the power of negative 4. Then qtx is negative 6x squared, x raised to the power of negative 4 dx plus c. So from there, we could simplify this one. Okay, y negative 2. Okay, we could make it, unahon na to si x, y negative 2 equals, let's move the constant outside. So therefore, you have x squared. So this is negative 4. It's just like, no? Negative 4. Or it's just like this. 4 plus negative 4. So power na siya, x raised to the power of 2 plus negative 4. So dx plus c. So therefore, you have x raised to the power of 4, y raised to the power of negative 2 equals negative 6. That is x raised to the power of negative 2, no? So, plus c. So, integrate na nato ni. So, that is x raised to the power of 1, no? That is plus 1 man. So, that is negative 1 over negative 1 plus c. So, therefore, we have x raised to the power of negative 4, y raised to the power of negative 2 equals negative times negative, that is x. This is reciprocal. It will be like this. Or you could be like that, or you could be like this plus c. You could have this one, or 1 over x raised to the power 4, y raised to the power 2 equals 6 over x plus c. This will be your general solution. Okay? So, question. Check if that is correct. Do we have the same answer? Okay. So I think we have, yeah, the same answer. So question for this problem before we proceed to another example. Okay. Question? Guys?
None for me, sir.
None. For
None
others,
for me.
nasabtan ra. Palihok ko, katong uban ay I've seen man nga nag-progress naman,
Something like
especially this class no, nag-progress na jud, paspas na kayong progress ninyo. Hopefully naka-adjust na pod ang the rest na nagsugod pa na it doesn't matter unsa ang given, okay? The process will always be the same, okay? Mao jud na itiman ninyo. So, ang reviewon ninyo pag once kaibaw na mo sa process, pag-review mo sa inyong integral o differential para pag integrate na ninyo, di jud mo masipyat. Mo na mostly makasipyat ninyo. So, review your integral, your processes, methods in integral and differential calculus. Once ma-review to ninyo, then kaibaw na mo sa inyuhang process sa differential equation, and then everything will go in place. Okay? Okay. If there's no question, no more question, I'll proceed with the next example. Wala. Sige, mag-proceed ko ha. Then later on, pag ask lang question. Okay? And then also, pagtanaw sa video for others na naglisod. So, pagtanaw sa video, balik-balik ka. Okay? So again, bisan pag usa ka libo sa kagatos atong example ug wala mo kakuha sa concept sa process, di jud mo ka solve. Okay? Pero kung kakuha na mo sa process, bisan pag unsa na siyang given, ma-solve jud na siya. Maybe na times na uy maglisod pa ko kay nakalimot ko sa integral ani, but that is not anymore the differential equation. Mao nang once makakuha mo sa process, nakasabot na jud mo. Ang pag-solve na lang ninyo daw ugon if sakto ba ang inyong pag-integrate or pag-derive. Okay? So, in terms of Bernoulli in X, pareha lang gyapon siya step. Walay nakalahing step. Ang standard form lang niya, pareha sa linear differential equation. Ang X ang numerator, then X pod ning sunod na term, kinunhan. Then, natapuan na po siya og another equation, another variable. So, two variables gyapon ang function of Q nimo. So, the same gyapon, mag-divide ka kung unsay ang i-divide, then the same process. So, let's try an example. Okay. Sample ta. Where's that? Kapiyan sa nako. Example 2. dx over dy plus x times 3 equals 4x raised to the power 4 e raised to the power 9. Okay. In the diagnostic exam, ka-diagnostic exam, ingon mo, hala, asa na, unsa naman po kaihatag ni sir. Again, obviously, and most obviously, I will not give a problem na nakaingani na daan. So, syempre, dapat kayo pa mo analyze. In another way, testing your algebra. So maybe kining dy i-multiply kini i-minus na nako ani tapos i-multiply na ko dy. So i-rearrange na ko ang equation. So kamo na mo arrange. Okay? It's just like rearranging it. So kung naka-gets ba mo? Okay? So sige, you know man no, if I pick problems since kung magama og problems mag nosebleed man ang mga estudyante. So mao nang to be safe naga-pick na lang ko og problem sa books. Although daghan kayong book. So for you to be safe, for you to be confident nga ready na ako sa exam, mao na as much as possible all the problems from our first topic na naa sa books, hindi lang book, sa books masolve ninyo, di ba? Kung makabatikod mo, the last exam na ako, punit ko sa usa, punit ko sa usa. Pero dili jud sila tanan na usa ka libro. So, at least magtuon jud mo. So, kung mangingon mo jud na ano, kung makamatikod mo si Sir, grabe si Sir, oy, hapit kada kita na mo, mag-exam na lang me. Okay? Our subject is a way na murag review. Kung naa na mo sa review center sa board exam labaw pa ani mas grabe pa ang ano kada oras kada minuto sige ra mog review sige ra mog solve, so better na naanad na mog sige solve. Okay, so it will be easier for you. Okay, so it's okay na maglisod karon basta ini ka exam ma-engineer gyapon. Okay, unsaon na lang na, di ba? Di ba Salvo, mga kuya ra ba ani kay mga engineer ra ba, mga bigating engineer ra ba ni. So, pareha na pod. Okay? So, they've been in the same place as you. So, ang uban pod, mga kaliwat o engineer na uban jud engineer by heart bisan pag walay relative na engineer. So, in my case, mga relative na ko are engineers and teachers. So, natapo ko engineer plus instructor. So, na siya. So, it runs to the blood man daw. So, kung wala pa sa inyong blood na engineer, so you will start with it. Okay. So, pangatawanin na siya. Okay. So, from here, let's try to solve. Okay, what is the first thing we need to do? Sige daw, be. I'll be the one writing. Guide me what to write. What?
Divide by x to the
Divide
fourth,
x
sir.
4.
Good job. X raised to the power 4. So, divide na ako. Kamoy pa, ano na ko ha. So, that you will know the process. So, that is 4. Mawa na siya. E raised to the 9. Y. So, what will I do next?
Reciprocal.
Reciprocal and what will I... Okay, siguro makonsider naman po ng tubag ni Aldrich kay reciprocal mo muna then we simplify. Sige. So, you know na this one will end up with x raised to the power of negative 4. So, kay bono mo kung 1 over ana. So, giditso na lang ako. Dx over dy. So, katong wala nakagets, tanawa tong first example. I will send this video tonight. Okay. So, plus, this one is x raised to the power of 1 man na siya. Since ibalhin mo na siya as numerator, may mong x raised to the power of negative 4 times 3 or pwede ra na iditso ng minus 4e9y. Okay, dito una ko. So for others na nakagets na, so sagdi ilang ginganin ako kay basin ang uban nagbibog pa. So x1 plus minus 4. Okay? Plus jud na siya dapat ha. Kay nag-multiply naman. Plus, but the power of this is negative 4 times 3 equals 4e9y. So, x raised to the power of negative 4 dx over dy equals plus x raised to the power of negative 3 times 3 equals 4e9y. Okay. You need to remember this one, right? So, what will I do next?
Katong let
Mo
cancel.
let sir. Let M. X
Okay.
yun o
Let
for
m
negative.
x raised to the power of
Negative 3.
Negative
negative 1.
3, sir. Negative 3.
3.
Okay, very good. Then, next thing we'll do is
Three.
Dir-
derive, no?
I-derive, sir.
Okay, so i-highlight nato ni kay magamit man nato ni inig ka ano?
Derive. Derive.
Okay. So derive your m. Remember, this one is dy, so therefore that is dy. Okay? So derive that one, x negative raised to the power negative 3 over dy equals. What is the derivative of x raised to the power of negative 3?
Negative 4 to the
Kuangan pa.
negative 4x to the negative 4, sir.
Kuangan.
Negative 3x
Negative
Negative
3x
to the
raised to the
raised to the power
power.
of
3x
Negative
negative
3.
4.
negative 4. Sunod. Sunod. Mao na na.
Oh,
dy.
dx. Okay? This is
dx
just
over
dy.
this is the derivative of x over dy. Okay.
dy.
So minus man. So kini multiply ato negative then minus 1. Sunod, just simplify this one. Negative 3x negative 4 dx over dy. So, what will we do here?
i-divide ang negative 3.
Divide ng negative 3. Ngano? Nganong i-divide man nato? Kay para?
Eh, mapareha sa first term, sir.
Okay, very good, Aldrich. So, we have dm over dy over negative 3 equals x raised to the power of negative 4 dx over dy. Since they are already, we already get this one, we could just substitute this part on the first term. So, sa kata, so, ato ang x raised to the power of negative 4 dx over dy is just equal to dm over dy over negative 3. Sunod, copy ang nabilin, no? Kini, copy nato ni sila. So, x raised to the power of negative 3 times 3 equals 4 e raised to the power of 9y. So, next, what will we do? Sa may sunod step na to.
Multiply ang negative 3, sir.
Okay, multiply negative 3 so that we could eliminate this negative 3. So, multiply both sides with negative 3. So, therefore, what remains here is just dm over dy plus x raised to the power of negative 3. So, 3 times negative 3, that is negative 9, equals 4 times negative 3, that is negative 12 e raised to the power of 9y. Okay. Next, since we already have this one, na kay dm over dx, and we know that our m is just x, so it's like dx over dy. You have this one already. We have this and this. Therefore, this is our standard form, no? This is our standard form. From there, we could now get our p transform of x. Okay, ptx. What is our ptx?
Oh, dili siya. Why?
Negative
Ah,
9.
sorry.
Ay,
pty. That's not x. pty. Sorry. pty. What is pty?
Negative 9, sir.
Negative 9. What is our qty?
Negative 12
Well,
e to the 9y.
Okay. So from here, we already get this one. And again, remember, Q transform of y, we will need that one in our general solution. Next, what do we do? What do we need to get?
Integrating factor.
Good. Integrating factor. So e raised to the power of pt of x d. No, not y, dy. Okay. So e raised to the power of pty, that is negative 9 dy. E raised to the power of negative 9 dy. Therefore, that is e raised to the power of negative 9y. That is our integrating factor. And we now have the three values that we need in order to solve for our general solution. Okay. So our next step is to solve for the general solution. Okay? So kung mag-solve mo, one at a time lang para lesser ang erasure. Para dili mo nginanglan o dagkong space. Kamo kay dagho po kayo ang kininang sir scratch paper daghan kayo. So scratch paper daghan mo scratch paper daghan jud mo magamang scratch. Mo nang mas better kung unsay papel nyo maora hinahinay lag solve. Hinahinay. Okay? So kung as much as possible di nyo magamit si scratch paper kay magkadaghan mong scratch, magkakalibog mo. Okay? Try to utilize ka ng paper na naanin nyo. Okay. Except kung wrong dyan na siya. So, manginang lang dyan mo scratch. Pero at least, ano naman, kaybaw naman kaunsa. So, general solution. What is our general solution na form? That is
M times integrating factor
sunod
equals
equals equals
Integral of
integral of
QTY
QTY sunod
times integrating factor
times IS.
okay dy plus c. Very good.
dy plus
Okay, very good. Need to remember this one so that we could just substitute. Pila ato ang m? X raised to the power of negative 3. So that is x raised to the power of negative 3. Our integrating factor, e raised to the power of negative 9y equals rqty, that is, just substitute, negative 12 e 9y, integrating factor, e negative 9y dy plus c. So x negative 3 e negative 9y equals negative, bawas na to ang constant. Pila man ang mabilin? E raised to the power of 9y times e raised to the power of negative 9y.
One, sir.
Very good. So this is just e raised to the power of 9y minus 9y. Di ba? Kay plus minus man. Ay nga na lang para sa uban nga naglibog. Since multiply, plus. But the sign here is negative man. So manang naingana. So kapiyo lang nako. So others nakaibaw na, pwede na dili mo labay aning linya ha. Kini lang gipakita lang nato so that so this becomes 0 dy plus any value raised to the power of 0 is 1, di ba? Any constant, any value, any variable raised to the power of 0 will always give you 1. Okay? So, meaning 1 times dy is just dy plus c. So, just integrate this one. So, hopefully, kung namoy makitang ingana, di mo mingon na lali, sobra na kayo siya, oh. Ha? Basta kay mo sa rule, makasolve jud mo anak niya. So integral of dy, that is y plus c. And mas ano pa gani, no? Mas kung mas lisod ang form niya, mas dali doon siyang sulbon. Mostly kanang form niya na daghan kayo tapos rearrange, pasumot mas dali na siya kay gi-rearrange man na ni sir. Pero kung mostly kung straight line pareha tong na niabot na gamma function, no? Bisag ako, wa ko expect na it will end up with gamma function with a series of values. So kung tan-awon nimo dito ra gud to siya na linear. Pero we end up in that part nga lisod. Okay. So that's mao nang ayaw mo pabaraw sa ihatag ni sir. Okay. So you could have this answer as your general solution, or you could make this one as 1 over x negative 3 e raised to power negative, no, not negative, it's positive na, e 9y equals negative 12y plus c. You could have this one, or like Salvo, like Ernest, like Emmanuel, and others, nga mag-tripping pa jud sila. So pwede ra pod y equals to ana, pamalhin na ninyo y equals. So pwede ra pod na. So naana na ninyo. So again, mag-check ko ana, basahon naman gyapon nata kung makaibaw man kung sakto or di. So mostly ninyo kay gusto ninyo na may laing kagaling yung answer, no? Okay. So this is our general solution question. Again, what is the step? You divide the Q part, you divide it with the value nga dili needed sa Q, and divide it in all terms. Pagkahuman, rearrange it, simplify. Then when you identify your you need to identify your M. After that, derive it. After deriving, when you get the similar form sa ato ang first term, substitute nimo ang dm over dx. After that, divide it with a constant nga naa sa imuhang dm over dx. Pakauman, once ma-simplify nimo, makakuha ni ka ni p transform na function q, then masolve nimo sa integrating factor. Once masolve nimo na, you can now go for general solution, and the rest is just integral calculus. Okay? That's the process. Okay? You need to always remember the process and not the given problem ng ihatag nako. So always expect engineering will not give you the same problem as the example. Buutan na kay si sir kung mabuhat si sir og ingana. Bisag asa kang engineering na department, bisag unsang engineering na kurso, or bisag asang engineering na eskwelahan. Okay? So di dyan na may tabo. Question. Sir, this Thursday, sir, unsay type sa exam? For the Thursday, problem solving gapon siya. We'll give you four or five problems kay 1.5 hour man mo, no? So,
Sa linear o Bernoulli ra na sir.
from the beginning,
Ay, sige sir. Thank you.
ang diagnostic is from the beginning jud. Bisan pag di ta mag-exam, bisan pa mag ano ta. By the way, diagnostic is a preparation for your departmental exam. Especially you came from ano, bisan pag dili pag pareha ninyo na nagikan o online. So ginabuhat yun nina ako sa akong klase para dili sila makuratan inig ka departmental major exam. Okay? So di mo makuratan nga ala inganiun di ay mga ratol na niya mo. So ang exam is from the beginning jud. Uh, it depends sa inyong klase. So magama pa ko. So sa Pika section 1 hour naman sila. So mupuon lang nako good for 1 hour, and you 1.5 man, no. So yeah, maybe mga 5 problems siguro inyo ha. So inga na. Sir, what is our major exam? Your major exam will be karon I think our dean will be posting now within this week your schedule. So ang schedule nato dili na siya pareha sa schedule sa ano ha, sa ato ang everyday classes ha. Ang departmental exam na adjud na schedule. Mostly Monday to Monday to Tuesday, that is your minors, and Wednesday to Friday, that is your major exam or major subject exam. So pinaka maximum subject na may matake nimo for a day is 3. I don't know kung i-3 ba gyapon ni ma'am. Basta sa una, 3 departmental, tulo ra jud naka subject per day kay mga lipong na mo ana. Kay departmental exam, each subject is good for 3 hours. So inga na ang departmental exam. So sa atong differential equation, imagine your exam will be good for 3 hours. But if you really study, the exam will be pinakadugay na siguro ng 2 hours kung nagtuon jud mo. Pero kung di, oh, dugay-dugay jud po, 3 hours. So kung katong mga reklamo og mubo og time, so karon hatagan jud mo og taas-taas na time. But the exam will obviously be departmental. So meaning dili siya just ordinary quiz or ordinary prelim exam. So dili siya ingana. So the exam will be good for 3 hours. Okay? Sir, how will we know the schedule sa minor? Mag-post man ang inyong sa depende kung asa ng minor i-offer. Mag-post na sila sa ubos sa kanang mga lobby. Like for example, kanang lobby bitaw sa ubos nato. Kanang department sa education or
Founders.
DAS o founders lobby. Mag-post na sila ana kung unsay mga schedule pantan-awa, mao nang importante kay ba mo sa section ninyo, or you could ask the teacher na lang sa inyong GC ba or inyong classroom unsay schedule ninyo. Pero di jud na siya dapat mapareha sa schedule sa major. Walay ingna pod ang inyong instructor kung mo exam og Monday, Tuesday kay kung mumove sila dili jud na siya kay pang major exam para minor na siya. Okay? Except og kamutanan naka-agree nga walay conflict ana kay sa una kay mag move man mi. Then tapos i-check pod kung walay mag-conflict kay base malipat si Ma'am Dean pag schedule matinga na may uban gud nga irregular, so manay maka-conflict usually irregular nga mo ni schedule niya sa usa mao pod niya schedule sa usa. So kada mag-decide ka unsay palabihon nimo ana, asang subject ang palabihon nimo. So mag-check jud ka kining subject ka murag alanganin ko ani mao ni jud ni gikinahanglan ako ning mga classmate nako ani. Kung di argoy ang 3 hours na exam may mo na lang special exam ini ka next meeting or kanus aba ko ma-available nga na. Mo may tabo. So mana you need to weigh it. So i-check dayon na siya. Kay kung di nimo mabantayan dayon na mana makadesisyon ka ana unsa i-give up nimong usa. Tapos katong i-give up nimo mag-igsabot na lang ka sa maestro nimo kanusa nimo siya i-take. So pero katong gikinahanglan og taas-taas na time ayaw jud to biyae. Kay kung moingon ang maestro okay next week na lang ka matiway ang 3 hours nimo imbes 3 hours iya may mo na lang 1 and a half or 1 hour na exam. So inga na. Kaya hindi man jud na usbon sa maestro ninyo. Okay? So any more questions? So this will be your first departmental exam, no? Na face-to-face, no? Na 3 hours, good for 3 hours. First time ninyo ni makasuway og good for 3 hours na exam?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Asa
So,
tama na mo, sir.
gikan sugod hantud kinalasang topic, dapat gali, layo na dapat ang topic karon. Dapat human na ta dapat sa application medyo nag-ano pa man mo, nagkapakapa pa man mo, nangapa pa mo kung unsaon siya. So, mato, nag-adjust lang po akong lesson. So, yan na.
Pinakadako na ng 10 problems, sir, ah.
Departmental, I don't know. Maybe I will give you an exam like board exam.
Ayaw po, sir.
Ayos, sir.
Kung siya ayaw, departmental exam is just like a board exam. Mao na siya. Much better na, naanad mo ana. Wa gali mo nga sa una gym ang gali mag-exam bisa unsaon nimong lingi wa kay malingian. Jimmy mag-exam, kung mulingi ka, makitaan ka sa tanang tao, galibot nimo, wala, uwawa to siya ng happy. So, yan na. So, magtuon jud mo. So, okay. No more questions.
Okay na, sir.
Okay, if none, see you this Thursday for our diagnostic exam. So, para di mo makuratan sa departmental exam, kuba-kubaan niya mo, kalit di na, imbes nakasabot na mo, di na mo ka-answer. Okay?